A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for finding time to join us on this week's edition of the program. We remain your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Lucille Lugbe. Welcome to the show. On our lineup this week, International Women's Day is celebrated annually on March the 8th. But the global campaign theme continues all year long to encourage action on gender equality. On this edition, we kickstart our three-part special report on influential women in insurance business as part of celebrations of this year's International Women's Day. For the most part in history, the insurance industry was dominated by men. For example, it took Lloyd's of London, the birthplace of insurance, 328 years before the emergence of its first female chief executive officer. Back here in Nigeria, it took the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers 50 years to produce its first female president. These are facts, but things are changing today in the insurance industry. In Nigeria now, there are women doing amazing things at top management levels, either CEOs, executive directors, and senior managers in the insurance industry. Are women there yet in terms of the numbers at the top? The answer is no. But as the saying goes, the journey of a mile begins with a step. Today, we project these leading lights who have, through determination, doggedness, and the can-do spirit, gotten to the top. These Amazons all have one thing in common. To take a listen.
There's a saying that the Millionaires Club does not have a door. If you want to be a millionaire, you enter from the roof. Then when you enter, they will welcome you and say, welcome, the youngest millionaire. So that's what it is for women, you know. So that ceiling is there, but you got to remove the roof and jump into that house. And then all the male CEOs and all of them there will say, yes, this is the strong woman. You are welcome.
Women work harder in a leadership position than men because we want to prove that we can do it. So it requires commitment, hard work, and then you will face challenges. But my own belief is that there is no gender issue. When it comes to performance, you just have to put in your best and make sure you achieve your desired goals.
Sometimes fairness does not mean equality. It doesn't mean that you are facing the same conditions. Sometimes fairness means preparing or making separate plans or conditions suitable for some classes of people to encourage them to move up. And I'm not aware of any company really doing that to the best of my knowledge. But I think, again, like I said, women in insurance, especially with the Professional Insurance Ladies Association, seem to be urging each other up, saying, yes, you can do it. It's tough at the top, but it's not insurmountable. You can actually get there.
What more can I say? It's a celebration of women. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the package as we raise our glass to women, each for equal. Happy viewing. International Women's Day is celebrated across the world on March the 8th. It is a global day that celebrates social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action to increase gender equality. Gender equality is today essential for economies and communities to thrive. The campaign theme this year, Each for Equal, is a race for gender equal boardroom, equal workplace,
a gender equal government and equal media coverage for women, etc. Women in the Nigerian insurance industry have encountered their share of gender-based prejudices in the workplace, not to mention the uphill battle required to get to the top. But some of the influential women in the insurance business today have had to fight through dint of hard work and determination to rise to the top of their game. Not stopping there, however, they are also encouraging and supporting each other to climb the career ladder. Some of them share their thoughts in part 1 of this series.
For a woman to get to the top, you must put in your best and you must be confident. You must be hardworking. In fact, women work harder in leadership position than men because we want to prove that we can do it. So it requires commitment, hard work, and then you will face challenges. But my own belief is that there is no gender issue. When it comes to performance, you just have to put in your best and make sure you achieve your desired goals. What I can say is that if you prove yourself to be worthy of getting to that top, you have the chance to get there, because nobody is putting any stumbling block for women not to get there, at least in Nigeria. Women like Mrs. Ruwayi, in the mid-70s, she got to the pinnacle of her career in insurance. So I believe that our industry is open for women also to rise to the top. Yes, climbing to the top of one's career as a woman is very challenging because you are a home tenderer, you are a mother, you have so many things to combine. But if you plan well, you will not have any problem. It requires planning. That is what they call a work-life balance. So you need to plan. Once you plan well, and most importantly, if you have as a woman, if you have a supportive husband, the sky is your limit. And for me, I have a husband who is understanding and very supportive. In fact, he wants me to get to the top of my career. Let me take politics, for example. You know, since women now have been clamoring for 35%, and up till now, we don't even have up to 5%, because men generally, with that, what I would call ego, they wouldn't want the women to get there. I know in some states that they can never ever allow a woman to be the governor. It's been like that. But now, gradually, we are getting there. At least we are now having women as deputy governors. So we are moving. And in other careers apart from insurance, at least now we have women CEOs of banks. Before now, it wasn't possible, but now it's happening. And now, we have women engineers, So we are moving, we are getting there, I'm sure with time.
We all know that anywhere for a woman to be at the top, you have to just be dogged. You have to just raise your head. You have to live above board. You have to do 10 times more than what the man will do. You need to be able to prove that you have the ability, you have the skill, you have the wherewithal. Where the man will need to prove 1 point, the woman will have to prove 10 times that point, to be able to say, you know what, I can do it. Because, as a woman, we have all of the challenges. We have families, we have our husbands, we have our children, we have all of those, our kids. So we have all those limitations. You must work late, you work late, you can take impromptu travels and all of that. A man will not need to take any, permission. All he just needs to do is pick up his phone and tell the wife, honey, I need to be in Kano for a meeting, and he's gone. But the woman will have to call the husband and take. So those are the kind of things that, you're looking at. But if you have a supportive family and all of that, it shouldn't be a problem. Well, I won't see that as being fair, but whether we like it or not, that's what the society is, and it's not only in Nigeria, all over the world, and all of that. So nothing has changed, apart from the fact that whether we like it or not, a lot of things are beginning to happen, even in the insurance space. We have a lot of female CEOs in Nigeria today, and you need to be able to prove that you have the ability, not that you are helped, that you're doing it on your own because you have the ability to do it, So all those funny thing about, a woman is there just because somebody helped her to be there, it's rubbish. We have a body called PILA. PILA is the Professional Insurance Women's Association. So we take deliberate steps to mentor, young girls who want to take up, career in insurance. We do that. Every year we have, our career day once every year where we mentor young girls who want to take up career in insurance, where we guide them and all that. We even have a special mentorship program even in PILA where we take up these girls one-on-one and begin to coach them, tell them, the usefulness of, building this career in insurance, what they stand to benefit and all of that. What are we trying to do? We're trying to pull more and more young girls into the industry. So the balls are just turning around and all that. So if we equip our female child, our female children well enough, it can only get better and better. And whether we like it or not, even the workplace is feeling us, because you see, the women are a bit more stable, in terms of career planning. You can plan with them. No, it's not really a myth. Really, there's this ceiling kind of, whether we like it or not, it does exist. But I think that the ceiling does exist for as many as want a ceiling above their head, So if you determine to say, what, I want to go above the ceiling, then you will go above the ceiling. Because there's a saying that the Millionaires Club does not have a door. If you want to be a millionaire, you enter from the roof. Then when you enter, they will welcome you and say, welcome, the youngest millionaire. So that's what it is for women, So that ceiling is there, but you got to remove the roof and jump into that house. And then all the male CEOs and all of them there will say, yes, this is the strong woman, you are welcome. So the ceiling will always be there. A lot of the elitist workplaces, they have crutches in the office. It's just to encourage nursing mothers. It's even good for the organization. If you have a nursing mother whose baby is in the crutch, she's not in a hurry to go home because she knows her baby is safe, and all that. So she can take her meeting, with concentration and all of that and giving her best. Women like to work out because we're very particular about our shape, our size, and all of that. So modern offices should have gyms, which you find in most of the modern offices today. A lot of organizations today too, they extend maternity leave. Some even extend it to 4 months, depending. I don't think there's anything bad with that. If you have a staff that has spent 10 years in your organization, has never had a baby and just had a miracle baby, there's nothing wrong with it because you've had the best of that staff. And then of course, after that first 3 months or 4 months, the woman is supposed to be closing by 3 o'clock, to go and take care of the baby for the next few months. Let it be. It won't rock anything, These days, people even do visual offices. People work from home. So things have changed. The tides have changed. A woman can be more efficient if you even tell her, you can work from home. She has her KPI. She knows what she needs to do and what, she should not do and all that. She can be taking care of the baby and then all her deliverables are met and all that. So I think we need to bring some bit of flexibility, especially for, mothers that are still, having babies, the young ones and all of that, just to encourage them.
I would say there is no visible barrier for women to go up, but it's just that sometimes not all women have the courage to move up, because to really move up, it requires a lot of planning, preparing yourself, getting the adequate required skills, and you have to have the right attitude, because moving up has a lot of responsibilities that it puts on one. And I think what has happened is that women in insurance have suddenly decided that there's nothing holding them. For as long as you have what it requires, you should be able to achieve as much as you want. Yes, there may be some informal unwritten rules where women are not encouraged, or because of the way women are structured, we like to do a lot of our family things and all that. That may be a sort of hindrance to career progression. But some women there's a lot of enlightenment these days, and women are saying, no, that shouldn't hold me back. You can actually have a work-life balance in such a way that you're not doing so badly at work, and at the same time your family life is not suffering. So I don't know what it is. I think it's just women deciding that they wanted to move up. If you ask most people in practice, they say there's a level playing field, but we all know that there are some undertones, some unwritten rules that may not really favor women, asking for meetings at odd times of the day, or asking to report in the office during weekends and all that. So I don't think they cannot, sometimes fairness does not mean equality. It doesn't mean that you are facing the same conditions. Sometimes fairness means preparing or making separate plans or conditions suitable for some classes of people to encourage them to move up. And I'm not aware of any company really doing that to the best of my knowledge. But I think, again, like I said, women in insurance, especially with the Professional Insurance Ladies Association, seem to be urging each other up, saying, yes, you can do it. It's tough at the top, but it's not insurmountable. You can actually get there. So I don't think it's a company by company thing, although recently I've seen a lot of celebration of Women's Day. Some organizations actually celebrate that, which is good, I would think if there are some unwritten practices that hinder women, that should also be addressed. So it's not just a one-day thing where people think, oh yes, let's focus on women. If there are some conditions that can make it fair for them to also partake and be part of those rising up in the organization, I think that should also be considered. But in my opinion, I think it's just women taking the bull by the horn and saying, no, we want to get there. And they're doing everything possible to get there. I'm a go-getter. I don't like to see limitations. I always want to go above limitations. And both in my career in the industry and when I went to Lagos State University and then came back here, I have not had that glass ceiling. Because if there were a glass ceiling, I have not have achieved the much that I achieved while I was in the industry. I rose to become a senior manager before I left. And I left not because there was a glass ceiling somewhere. I left because I felt I didn't like the environment I was working in, and I think I'll thrive better in an academic environment. That was why I went to the university. But that being said, I don't think there's a glass ceiling, honestly, because nothing will come easy. Even for men, I don't think it is easy. Even I've seen men that become victims of boardroom politics and all that. So it is nothing. Nobody will hand over anything to you on a platter of gold. You need to be really resilient and really desire to be there. Aside that, I've always been a go-getter. You have to want to achieve. I'm not the kind of person that takes no easily. I don't believe anything is impossible. So I do my best so that by the time I realize I can't do it, I know I've given it all my shot. So that's one thing. Balancing work life and achieving all these requirements was a bit of a challenge. Then I found out that in some offices that I had worked, sometimes you meet narcissists that think women can't achieve much, and they're trying to douse your ambition and all that. And because I'm resilient, I'll say no, this is not. In every way I've worked, I've always worked with passion. I make sure I deliver more than expected. I'll go ahead and do things to really get myself prepared for my position. So I've always been a crazy worker like that. I remember I joined one company and I was typing, and they were like, have you done secretary work before? I said, no, I learned to type on my own. I type like a secretary. Anything that will enable me be efficient at what I do, I go and get it. Because the skill is mine. When it's mine, it's mine. Nobody takes it away from me. So that's the only bit about getting and working with people that want to douse your ambition. No, as a woman, you shouldn't allow that. I was reading an article yesterday where, I think it's a Canadian article, where it said that women tend to lose their earning powers the moment they start having kids. That usually they say you're on maternity leave for a certain period of time, but even after that maternity period, women still lose income. And that is because of the things they would have missed. Maybe they cannot stay long in the office and all that. It sort of reduced their earning power. And what I can say offices can do if they really want, because having a woman in top management positions adds some sort of flavor to your management strategy. Companies can ensure that women, even after they come back from such maternity leaves or whatever, it doesn't count against them. Anything to encourage them, even if they have to work at home, women multitask. So that if you are not in the office, you can at least work from home and it makes it easier for you. But that being said, I don't like playing the gender card. I don't do it. I don't want to be given anything because I'm a female. No, I want to be acknowledged for what I can do or what I have done. So for women, I'll say, most offices may not provide these things. You can make alternative arrangements for yourself. Make sure that your family life does not suffer. Find a way of arranging it, and also ensure that your partner becomes your friend, and don't make it look like your work is more important than the family or whatever. Try to find a balance between the two. Nobody is going to give you anything on a platter of gold. That you're a female does not mean they bend rules for you. If offices are not ready to provide such, take it as it is.
That's our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Join us again, same time, same station next week as we bring you part 2 of this special report in celebration of women in the insurance industry. Don't forget, if you miss any part of today's show, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Let's continue the celebration of women on all our social media platforms. My name is Lucy Olugbe, and from the entire team, it's goodbye.